One of the biggest things that I have seen now in working with the human body for the last 15 years is the role of the unconscious mind. So, I want to share with you today all the tips and tricks of how I moved out of burnout finally after many, many years of it and being stuck in it for 7 months and not working, very, very, very sick, and how I used the unconscious mind to move through that. So, today, I'm going to talk to you about the unconscious mind. What is it? And like, how do I even know that it exists for me? Like, what does it even do? Then I also want to share with you how is it actually impacting your health? I'll show you the exact pathways and how that can be impacting your health. And then because I don't want to just show you how something's impacting you without actually giving you something to do, we will end this video with a heart coherence technique where we'll really learn how to connect in with our unconscious mind. We as human beings are actually the only species on the planet that can use our conscious mind. You actually use thinking about something to create something to cause change in our unconscious mind. So it's one of the really cool traits that we have as human beings. So before we dive in today, though, I want to tell you, so today I took my son to school. And um, it's dress up day, it's homecoming, and we're pulling up to the school, and I see that everyone has on hats. And I thought today was sports day. So my son's in his sports gear, his jersey, his Kansas City Chiefs jersey. Sorry if that offends anybody. And we pull up to the school and I'm like, oh no, my son's neurodivergent. I was like, oh my gosh, buddy, I'm so sorry. I thought today was sports day. It's clearly hat day. And he just kind of bees quiet and then he's like, okay, I gotta go. And he gets out of the car, which is like pretty big deal for him. And he gets out of the car and he points over to me and he has me like roll the window down and I roll the window down and he says the thing that really broke my heart open. He says, I love you, you Mr. Upper. And that it changed something inside of me. It immediately clicked this idea of what if we could all be loved through our mistakes? What if we could all be loved not despite our mistakes, not, but because of the things that we do and how we mess up. And, we've been working in our house over the last few years, taking accountability, apologizing. We've also worked on asking more questions. And it really is paying off in a big, big way. And I could see that right then. And that, even in and of itself, I could feel my unconscious mind kicking in. I could feel the young version of me saying, wow, I can mess up and still be loved. I can mess up and not get yelled at. That is the power of the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is actually built, most of it between the ages of 0 to 7. There's also epigenetics that's proven that we carry 14 generations of DNA. So we also carry 14 different 14 generations of memories and those pieces that also might need healing in our process. So let's dive in. Let's talk about really what the unconscious mind is and how we can interact with it. So let me get, I actually had a presentation. So let me get my presentation pulled up for you all here. Maybe if I can find it. Yeah, perfect. So, what is the unconscious mind? So, we have a conscious and an unconscious mind. And when we're looking at our unconscious mind here, put myself side by side so that you can see both. Okay. So, when we are looking at the unconscious mind, oops, we are actually looking at our automatic processes. This is the part of you that loves you so much. It literally beats your heart for you, right? You're not sitting here thinking, beat, 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 but it's still beating for you. It's the part of you that's breathing for you right now, right? We can do, you guys maybe have seen all these breath work expansions over the last few years. And it's part of working with the unconscious mind. Now, there's a lot of breathwork coaches out there that don't know that. If you want to follow my leader, my mentor in the breathwork space, you guys can go and check out Jesse Coomers. He has an extremely robust channel as well. And so you guys can learn a lot more there too. It's how fast or slow your heart rate is. This can also be your vagus nerve attachment to it, kind of puts a brake. Your heart would beat at about 99 beats per minute without your unconscious mind slowing it down. It deals with your sleep wake cycles. We have so many clients that come and talk to us about one of the reasons that they join our program Regulate is because they have struggles sleeping, struggles falling asleep, struggles staying asleep, struggles when they wake up still feeling tired, not being able to immediately kind of wake up and engage those pieces. This is all your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind also holds all of your emotional responses. So it's actually looking through at your emotions. So when you feel angry, that's your unconscious mind. When you feel sad, happy, joy, fulfilled, all of that is your unconscious mind. Forming long-term memories. So whenever things go from short-term to long-term, so if you're having memory issues, unconscious mind can be in there. Oh, that's evaluating emotions, not emotions. Your beliefs, your habits, your values, right? If you've ever had somebody that um, all of a sudden offends you, it could be that they're stepping on a value for you. These things are the filters that our unconscious mind uses to decide what's important for us and what isn't. Our protective reactions, right? Whenever someone all of a sudden jumps out and you immediately jump up and scream or you swing, those are all your unconscious mind. And it's been taught to you over time how to react. It's why one person somebody might jump out to scare them and they immediately drop down and huddle and tuck their head. Another person might throw a right hook. That's their unconscious mind and the filters that have been created, imagination and intuition. So our unconscious mind is pretty cool, right? These are all the things that our unconscious mind does. And just a reminder, your conscious mind, they work together as a team. We want them to be in relationship. We want them to have literally the best, like dating, falling in love, getting married, long-term relationship that they've ever experienced. That's literally what we want to walk these parts of ourselves through so that we can really step into wholeness and our whole self. So your conscious mind is rational thought, it's planning, decision making, self-regulation. So it's saying, hey, I need to take a deep breath right now. I can feel I'm getting overwhelmed. Goal-directed behavior, your conscious mind will actually communicate with your unconscious mind. Your conscious mind will say, hey, we're working on this big project. So right now I'm doing, these lives every day for 30 days and teaching about one specific thing. So that's my conscious mind. My conscious mind set that goal. And then my unconscious mind is showing up saying, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to be on screen. Am I smart enough to teach these things? All of those beliefs also, it's constantly saying, well, you don't have time because this is a new habit. So I'm having to interfere with other habits and automatic responses that are going on in my unconscious mind. But they're communicating well together, which is why I'm here today. Also, willpower that comes from your conscious mind and short-term memory. This is why so many people should not be depending on willpower to get a habit done. So you guys see habits are over in the unconscious mind and willpower is in the conscious mind. And your unconscious mind makes 95% of your decisions. So only 5% of the time are decisions being made based on willpower. So this is why the work we do, this is why people get into burnout because they'll want to use willpower. Like, I just got to hold on to this willpower. I got to be more consistent. And then the unconscious mind takes over. The unconscious mind all of a sudden says, no, I have other beliefs about myself that this doesn't align with. So you can't willpower me to go to the gym today. That's way too scary. Hey, I'm having a lot of fear today. You can't willpower me into getting on that YouTube live. And you keep trying to willpower yourself through it rather than working with the unconscious mind, stepping into your whole self, actually listening to yourself, accepting what's going on, and then being able to move forward and make a decision. This is the piece that so many people miss that keeps them stuck in these cycles of burnout or just digging down deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into burnout. I don't know if any of you are like me, but I found myself hitting burnout, and rather than being able to listen to my unconscious mind, I didn't have those tools yet. So I just got a shovel and I dug down deeper and deeper, right? I was like, I got to suppress these emotions. I got to work harder. I don't have time for this. I've got my daughter had just been born. We moved our son, who was 14, into the house through the foster care system. And so we were supporting a lot of his things. I have a neurodivergent son. And I was like, There's no space for me. So I've got to shut all of this down, which your unconscious mind cannot shut it down, right? I'm going to shut all of this down and I'll just deal with it later. And I was trying to shut too much of it down. And before I knew it, guess what? Now, all of a sudden, like everything, unconscious mind always wins because it's making 95% of your decisions. Everything just whoop, huge blow up, shut my business down, didn't work for 7 months, these big, big, big changes. So we can't willpower our things through. That is how you end up in these cycles of burnout. So let's talk about what is actually happening through these filters. How are things coming in and how does that direct our behavior? So you're getting 2 million bits of information every second, 1 to 2 million bits of of information every second. You're getting that through visual, you're getting it through auditory, you're getting it through touch, you're getting it through smell, you're getting it through taste. All of these things are coming in, all of these inputs from the 3D world, and they go into your brain. And then your unconscious mind generalizes, deletes, and distorts those pieces based upon what it thinks is best. So that way you're only consciously aware, you can see at the very top here, you're only consciously aware of about 120 bits of information. Not 120,000, none of that. 120. From 1 to 2 million down to 120. And then these 120 bits that you become consciously aware of, it changes your state of mind. You have an internal picture of what's happening and it changes your physiology. And then that physiology leads to your behaviors, your actions, your verbal or nonverbal, what is actually happening, then what you put back out into the 3D world. So let's do this as an example. So you're walking in a restaurant and someone's walking out, and all of a sudden you see them like kind of look over at you really quickly. So they look over at you like that. Your brain will generalize, delete, or distort that information. You're only consciously aware of it because your brain said that's important and that hit on a belief that we have. So for some people, maybe they're like, "Oh my gosh, I think that person knows me. I don't remember them. I'm gonna go say hi and be like, "Hey, I don't remember you, but it looked like you looked over here like you knew me." That's because they have a belief that they're connected to other people, maybe, or that lots of people know them. Maybe someone else was like, oh, they don't like my outfit because they have an internal belief that they don't dress properly or they don't look good. They'll never be enough. Some of those kinds of things. And then that creates their state of mind, their physiology, right? The one person might like be like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going over there. The other person all of a sudden hunches their shoulders, slinks down, starts to cover up their outfit. Then they slide into the booth and they're like not talking anymore to the people they came in with. They're being very quiet because they're feeling like they're being judged. The other person comes back and is like, I don't know who that was. They had no idea who I was. Okay. And they are talking and they're going through things. Do you see how our unconscious mind can actually change how we're perceiving our workload, our interactions with other people, our interactions with the world? Our unconscious mind is deciding, do I feel safe here? And if not, it begins to shut things down. So, this is something that we talked about in the hormone panel. So, you guys can see inside the brain here, we have something called the HPA axis, which is that information is coming into the brain. It hits the hypothalamus and it just is asking, What's going on down there? Do I need to change something? And the hypothalamus will then signal the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland then can signal the adrenals and say, release cortisol. We're stressed out right now. Or it can hit the pituitary gland and it can go to the gonads and it can say, hey, release sex hormones. Like I'm feeling really safe. I'm feeling intimate right now. Those pieces, all of that is controlled in these functions in your brain. And all of that is those automatic, right, responses that we talked about over here that are part of the unconscious mind. So the biggest thing is if you are not working in your unconscious mind, you're completely missing why you're making 95% of the decisions that you're making. Why all of a sudden you're 5 steps into a decision and you're like, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to go work out today, or that's not what I meant to do. Why am I working when I'm exhausted? I need to take a nap, but I can't take a nap. Everyone depends on me. And you run through all these beliefs, all of these limitations. So think about for you, like comment below this video, let me know what are things that you say to yourself that come up that you're like, oh. So let's say that you do something like kind of like I did this morning, where you make a mistake, you mess up. And immediately, as I was getting ready to pull away before my son said to roll the window down, the thing in my brain was, ugh, I always mess this stuff up. Why am I so disorganized? That's a belief that my unconscious mind was then going to pick up and take to work. And do you think I was going to have a very organized day at work? No. This is how burnout begins to pile up. It's one little thing with a stack of beliefs and all these things on top of it about yourself that maybe are kind of in that lower vibration. And then you take that, you make another mistake. And you're like, oh, yeah, that confirms that I'm the type of person that can't run a business. I'm disorganized. I can't take care of my kids. I'm not a good person. I'm not a good mom. And then you try to prove yourself, and then another mistake happens. And it runs through this cycle. And this is how burnout occurs. And then I talked about this in my last video on hyper individualism. Then, if your reaction to that is, I'm going to go and hide until I'm an acceptable individual in society, because society says, well, go do self-care. You need to take care of yourself. You need to figure this out on your own rather than showing up in community in our mistakes so someone can shout like, I love you, you miss a rapper, right? Then that's when we really get lost. So you can see that your unconscious mind is really dictating everything that leads to burnout. And your conscious mind is constantly trying to just set another goal, like, let's be rational here. What's happening? But your unconscious mind is the one running the show. So let's just take 2 minutes here. I just want to walk you through really quickly a very simple heart coherence exercise. What you're going to do is you can go ahead and shut your eyes as long as you're not driving or anything else, what you're watching video, so hopefully not. But you can go ahead and shut your eyes. And I just want you to become aware of your breathing. And just by becoming aware, you'll notice that maybe your breathing has already changed. Maybe it's slowing down. Maybe it's speeding up. But just become aware. Become aware of what does that air feel like as it comes in through your nostrils? Does it feel dry, cold, warm? Do you feel a little stuffy? Is there restriction on one side or the other? And then what about when that air comes out? Let's have it come out your nose. Does it feel warmer now? Is it more moist? And I want you to do something just very simple. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds and out for 4 seconds. This is a balanced breathing technique. This really is just balancing our fight or flight system and our calm the heck down system. And it's just saying, hey, I want both online right now. I'm not going to sleep, right? It's the middle of the day. I'm not necessarily going to sleep, but I don't want to like wake up. I just want to be focused. And I want you to just begin breathing in for 4 and out for 4. But as we do, I want you to trace that air in through your nose down through your throat and into your lungs, and back out of your lungs, out of your throat, and out of your nose. So let's begin with a big deep breath in, letting it all go. And then pulling that air in through your nose, down through your throat, into your lungs, out of your lungs, out of your throat, and out of your nose. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, nose, throat, lungs, out, lungs, throat, nose. Breathing in, pulling that air in, being on the inside of your body, and breathing back out on the inside of your body, pulling that air back out. Can help to think of a white smoke, breathing in that white smoke, pulling it down into your lungs, nice, purifying, clean air, and then allowing that smoke to come back out of your throat, out of your nose, back out. Let's do 2 more. In, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. I want you to use this technique. You can blink your eyes back open. Just become aware, what has changed now? What do you feel in your body? Just let me know in the comments below this video. What are you feeling now? This is a great technique to get back in touch with your body, to signal to that unconscious mind, I'm listening. I know that you're controlling 95% of the decisions I make, and I want to be in partnership with you. I don't want control or willpower or smash my way through, but rather, can we be in partnership to get the things that we want? Try this technique out. 2 minutes is effective to already get biochemical changes. Try this technique out. Let me know how it's going. And if you will, like and subscribe to this channel. I would love to continue to share more with you of the tools of stopping running your life, your business on adrenaline and caffeine, and stepping into that renewable energy and feeling connected and supported all the time, rather than you're like the only one that can handle everything. And if you're not holding it all together, it's all going to fall apart. I will see you guys back